Hi everybody, I'm back. I know it's been about a week or two. Also, I miss you guys so much. So I am back, and this topic, today, or in this video, is forgiveness, and we're gonna talk about forgiving people, why it's important to forgive, and basically what forgiveness is and what it means to forgive, and basically how forgiveness works. Because there are a lot of misconceptions and confusion about forgiveness. And what I'm saying? And it's just really important. So forgiveness is about you forgiving someone for doing wrong by you, hurting you, um, betraying you in any form or fashion. Um, because um just and it's really more for you than it is for them. But that's basically what forgiveness is. You know what I'm saying? It's a very important too because it helps you heal and move on. Um, and it's just like you want to forgive that person for what they did to you, and it's like I said, it's for you. It's now for them, and it's to help you not be bitter and to hold on. Forgiveness kind of releases that pain that person has put on you and that you might have been carrying around. And sometimes, for some people, like me, sometimes you sit there, you want to be angry because you feel you have that right to be angry at that person because that person hurt you, and that's fine. You have the right to be upset, but then eventually, but once you are no longer upset, because usually when somebody upsets you, it might be a day or two, but once you are no longer upset about that thing, you should be like, okay, I'm over it now. Let me forgive and move on. A lot of times people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? They will sit there and no longer be upset about it, but they won't forgive the person and move on. And one of the things I do is that I forgive a person, but I won't forget what you done because I feel you should never forget what someone may have done because it would be hard for you to be able to recognize like you another person. Say you're gonna go into a relationship, you wouldn't be able to sit there and catch a little bit quicker, so that way not as much pain inflicted upon you. I feel you are learning from that situation. Part of learning from that situation is kind of remembering kind of how that person kind of held you or the way he kind of did it a little bit or her. Um, you know, so um, so basically, the way forgiveness works is it's for you. And it helps you heal from that pain that person inflicted, and it keeps you from being bitter. Because a lot of times when you're bitter, you cause a person to pay for the mistakes that the other person did, or it'll make it hard for you to build relationships or friendships with people because it because you are not sure who you can trust. Oh, I don't know if I can trust that person. I'm a little scared to trust. It's not good. And another thing about forgiveness that's important is that for God forgives us. You know what I'm saying? When we make mistakes, not only does God forgive us, but He continues to be our friend and have a relationship with us. However, for us, it's not a requirement in forgiveness that when you forgive someone, you have to be friends with them. And that's what I'm kind of going through right now, battling with where I forgive that person, and that person feels, well, if you forgive me, you shouldn't be mad at me, which I'm not, and stuff like and stuff like that. And also like, well, you should be my friend and we'll hang up. No, that's not how forgiveness works. I don't have to be your friend, or we don't have to get back together in a relationship if I forgive you or if you forgive that person. So when you forgive someone, it's your choice. Do I want to be friends with that person that I forgive and still hang out with that person? You can be friends with that person, but you don't have to hang out with them. Set the boundaries. But you have to realize that God forgives us and He continues to have a friendship relationship with us, and He doesn't leave us or forsake us. However, in this world, for some of us, we can be friends with that person, or if you are friends with that person, it's still not the same. The friendship won't be the same. It'll be a little different because there's a trust issue, there's a barrier there. But just remember that God forgive you. So whenever someone hurts you and does you wrong, think twice about, now I want to forgive them, or I'm gonna forgive you, but I'm gonna continue. I'm always gonna remind you what you did. If you're gonna forgive somebody for they did, move on, and don't continue to bring it up every time in the conversation when there's an argument or whatever. That's the case. Just don't be friends with the person. You know what I'm saying? If you see yourself constantly every time y'all have an issue, whatever, you want to bring it up, throw in that person's face, maybe y'all shouldn't be friends. So um, so the misconceptions for a lot of people and the misunderstandings that I kind of had that thing too at first, was that um it was for them, because when you forget someone, you go, oh, I forgive you, You know what I'm saying? And when you hear that, you feel all you hear is this is for them. I'm forgiving them, but you don't hear anything for you. You just hear that okay, I'm doing you hearing that I'm doing something for this person, but what am I getting out of this? So it's kind of hard to. So that's a decision. Oh, this is for him. This isn't for me. And I'm not getting that, but really you are. And a lot of times, and when you forgive, you have to really be serious and sincere if you're gonna forgive somebody. And sometimes a person might never ever apologize to you, or if they do apologize, it might not be sincere. But you can't wait around for someone to apologize for you to forgive them. Because sometimes you might never ever get an apology. Like the first relationship I was ever in, the guy did me wrong, did me dirty, and he's never apologized for it. And he doesn't see his wrong. He doesn't think he did anything wrong. He doesn't see it. He doesn't think that the way he acted and his thinking also was wrong. So he's never apologized to me. But there came a time in which I forgave him. You know what I'm saying? Was it in person? Because sometimes when you forgive someone, I was going to forgive that person in person, face to face, because sometimes you do. Um, and But in my case, in that situation, I had forgiven him, but it wasn't face to face, and it wasn't at that time, and he never apologized for his behavior, his actions, and how he hurt me. Because pretty much when you do things, it affects them in the long run. Especially when they don't have that closure. But forgiveness also helps give you closure and close that chapter in that situation. And so a lot of times we feel that when we tell someone that we are forgiving them, that we are removing guilt, and we are giving them permission to not feel bad anymore. Like if I forgive you, it means you won't feel guilty, you won't feel bad anymore. Because a lot of times sometimes people come to you and they'll ask, "Oh, will you forgive me?" A lot of times we feel that person say, "Hey, I need your forgiveness." You know what I'm saying? I feel bad, and they won't feel bad anymore, and we are like, they should feel bad. They deserve to feel bad. They should feel good. They deserve what they're feeling, and really they don't deserve to feel bad because really you're condemning them, and that'd be a whole other conversation about condemnation. And you don't want to condemn somebody because I'm pretty sure you've done somebody wrong. You wronged somebody, hurt somebody, and you want that person to forgive you, and I want you to feel all bad and horrible. And a lot of times, you don't want that person to feel guilty, you want to feel bad, you want to feel shame. But in reality, as we forgive someone, it doesn't remove the guilt or it doesn't help them. For some people, it does, and it's really good for that person as well when they wrong you and stuff. To be able to feel better, not feel bad anymore. And So it's not for them. It doesn't help remove guilt. 'Cause for some people, you can forgive them, but they still will feel a little bad for it. You know. Um. Also, is like I said, we're human beings. You know what I'm saying? We're made of the flesh. We're not God, so we're gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect. And this is something I learned today in church that with God, when you have God, when God is with you, you are perfect. If God's not with you, then you're not perfect. So if you accept Jesus Christ into your life and He's in your heart and you live through and you like a Christ to live inside you and through you and dictate your every move, then you are perfect because God is in you and you live through God. And you allow God to control your life and your steps and what you do and how you live your life. A lot of us will allow that, so we made that statement of, I'm human, but I'm not perfect, I'm gonna make mistakes. Even on a job, you're gonna miss something, you're gonna make a mistake, but you want to make sure you don't want it to be a huge one, whereas so many, you don't want it to be a huge mistake where it's the same mistake more than once, because then you will kind of feel bad, and sometimes people beat you up and whatnot. Um, but people make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? They'll be acting wrong. Thing goes wrong. Somebody might drop something or things happen, but we're humans. We're not, even a machine makes a mistake. We're human beings. So we have to forgive one another. It's the only way to save the human race and help the human race and kind of decrease some of this violence. It's the only way to decrease some of the violence. And we just have to forgive. And that's something that I've had to do. You know what I'm saying? I've forgiven every relationship I've been in. I've been a total of three. I've forgiven those men for how they've hurt me. And I'm in a situation right now where I just broke with someone back in September, and I forgave that person, and so right then and there, like, I forgive you, because by then I kind of was already out of a relationship. I had checked out of the relationship mentally before I did physically. So any anger that I had, I could already deal with it while I was in a relationship with him, but he just didn't know. So by the time it was done, it's like I wasn't even like angry, mad. I had no resentment, because I dealt with my whatever it was that he caused me, how it made me feel. I dealt with the way it made me feel, and I dealt with how it made me, um, with how it made me feel, and I dealt with how I'm thinking, y'all, with how it made me feel with it. So by the time it was over, I wasn't angry with him, and he thought that because I didn't, the reason why was because I was upset. I was still upset about the main reason why, but I wasn't. But I just knew that he was not going to change, and if I continued to allow it to go on, it will flip. I'm opening the door for more hurt to come in different form. And I just knew that it wasn't what was best for me, you know. And he couldn't really understand that, So, but it was like, this is for me. It's what's best for me, and I'm not angry. I don't hold on to that. I'm not stuck in the past. There are times, and for almost a year, the breakup wasn't amicable from his point. So I wanted it to be a good one and pleasant, and he's just been not wanting to let the relationship go because he feels weak that he really loved me. He doesn't want to end, and it's just it's not what's best for me. I'm saying? I don't condemn them. I don't judge. That's your lifestyle. That's who you are. I'm not going to change you, but it's a fit to my lifestyle, and I just don't want no parts of it. I want anything to do with that. That's not my lifestyle. Go be you and do you, but I'm not going to be involved in it. So. And it's just been hard for him to kind of move on. So it's become a little crazy and nasty, and just things you go through, and stuff. But God has protected me, and I've done what I had to do to protect myself and keep myself safe, and so that because all I wanted to do was move on, and he just wouldn't let me because he didn't want to move on. It's not fair to me or him. It's not helping him, you know, because he's the one that's really hurting. The only person that's hurting is you, was him and stuff. So, but forgiveness is important. A lot of times, and another thing is like if a person ends a relationship with you and you didn't want to end, and the hurt that it brings, you have to realize that it's not intentional hurt and pain. They didn't do it to hurt you. Even and no one's saying that you're not hurt you. However, if you are hurting, forgive that person, so that you can heal. You know, like you saw her, I mean, I'm just so hurt, whatever. So I really care about that person. But if their reasons are valid and it's true, and sometimes you have to think about, okay, you have to think about what they're saying. A person not just going to say something that ain't true, or it's out the blue, or it never happened. So you kind of be like, okay, no, this person will have to respect it and move on, and and kind of whatever sadness you went through, forgive that person for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't intentional. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do this because I want you to hurt and be in pain. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that to hurt you and break your heart. So and that's the thing in my situation, in a relationship, and he's kind of hurting, but he's not working on forgiveness and stuff like that because what do you forgive a person for the pain? Because are you really responsible for that pain? Like my situation, I'm not responsible for your pain. You are because you wouldn't give it this particular thing because of the choices that you made. Because you chose that particular thing over me multiple times. And when you do that multiple times, a woman gets to the point where it's like, okay, you continue, you keep making this choice, and and it's not me. You're not choosing me. So a woman gets to a point where she realizes that it's like it tells her that this is what you want, that you care about this more than her. You want this and not her. So when she sees that, she'll make the decision for you. A lot of times, people make a decision that they can't make, and vice versa as well. But you kind of have to realize that they're not the source of your pain while you're hurt right now. You are, because of your choices, you know. But you kind of have to forgive that person for anything you feel they might have done in a relationship to you. You know, where you done something, that you feel it might have hurt you, and forgive them for that. Because there might be things that they might have done, but you chose to keep your mouth, to not say anything. That's your choice. Because if you're in a relationship, you say, hey, you know what? They kind of bother me, she does that, but you know what? I love her, and that's what I'm going to deal with, because it was just a typical flaw type thing, but it wasn't nothing major. Was it something that could hurt you? You know what I'm saying? You kind of can ignore that. But when it's something big like an addiction, you can't ignore that. Like, who can really live with someone that has an addiction? It's hard. So, you know what I'm saying? That's something you kind of like, well, no, it's not that big of a deal, because it's not that big of a deal. But an addiction is a big deal, you know. And so you kind of just have to, and that's the thing I've done. I forgive them. I've forgiven anybody that's hurt me, even in childhood. We had things where in childhood, parents have done certain things to us that we felt was kind of painful. Like, we might have felt that parent wasn't there for us, like they should have been, or we felt that parent was there more for our other sibling than they were for us, or what I'm saying, this that or your sister or your brother got this, and whatever, and you kind of have to forgive them for that, or you felt that they might have been a little more harsh on you, or you feel that they shamed you, or they didn't support you enough, and they hurt that caused you, but you have to forgive them for that, because they're a parent, and there's no manual, and they're not perfect, and they're gonna make mistakes, and they don't really know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, that they didn't really know at the time that was okay to do that. As a parent, so you kind of just have to be mindful that as a parent, it's new for them, and they don't know. You know, so any childhood pain, even if a parent abused you, or if you were um, hurt by another family member, or what have you, or anything traumatic, you know what I'm saying, being attacked in school, or coming home from school, somebody, whatever, you have to forgive that person. That's why there are a lot of people out there in the streets, and lots that happen because they never forgave that person. They were still holding on to that pain, and people were able to take advantage of that situation. Or that's why people are addicted to things, addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol. There's something that happened to them that they never healed from, because you didn't forgive that person. Healing starts with forgiveness. It's important. We can't ask God to forgive us, and then we don't sit there. Somebody does wrong to us, and they ask us to forgive them. We don't forgive. You know what I'm saying? How can we expect God to forgive us if we don't forgive somebody when they done us wrong? You know, you know what I'm saying? Or like or we want somebody to forgive us when we done wrong to them. We say, God, can you forgive me? You want God to forgive you, and you go to this person, and like, hey, can you forgive me? And they do. Or you want that person to forgive you, but then turn around, if somebody else did something wrong, you won't forgive them. But a couple of days ago, you asked somebody to forgive you, and you asked God to forgive you. And then now when you're in a situation where you have to forgive someone, you won't do it. You won't forgive the person, you know. You won't forgive the person for what they done, so it's kind of not fair. But forgiveness is important. And we really need to get this message out. We need to spread it where we need to change people. A lot of hostile friendships don't happen because of misunderstandings and confusion. The church had you, and not just the church, but just growing up a lot of times in your household, like, you kind of let your device, so you're thinking that, oh, when I forget somebody, it's for them, and it's not for me, and I'm not getting anything from it. What am I getting? It's not fair. And I mean, one time I was like, well, what if somebody apologizes to you, but it's not sincere? Like, do you still forgive them? Or how can you forgive somebody when you know? And this time I actually asked an uncle. He was like, well, even if a person, like I said, what if somebody doesn't apologize, or what if they do apologize, not sincere? He was like, well, if someone doesn't apologize, you still forgive that person whether they apologize or not. And then if they do apologize, but you don't feel sincere, he was like, you still sit there and you forgive them whether they were sincere or not, because apology doesn't turn forgiveness, because forgiveness is about, okay, somebody did you wrong and you have to forgive them, because he was like, it's more so for you, for to help you heal. And that's how I learned about the whole thing about forgiveness. Is for you. It helps you heal and move on and not be bitter and hold on to things. And that, so it makes it easier for you to build relationships. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't forgive, it makes it hard to build relationships, because there's a trust factor comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something I'm dealing with. It's real hard for me to trust people and who to confide and get information to, because it's like I don't know how he's gonna respond, because my trust was betrayed by someone in a relationship. When I allow myself to, it's not easy for someone to be vulnerable. So I allow myself to be vulnerable and share something with him that I don't share with anybody else, because it's not something you will. When you go through something traumatic, that's not an everyday real conversation. So I shared it with him, and then when our relationship had ended, he betrayed me by telling a new person that he was with. And then she's throwing in my face. I'm thinking, wow, really? Like, how can you betray someone like that? When you're in a relationship with somebody, whatever you talk about when you're in a relationship with somebody, you do not it doesn't go. You don't take it to your next relationship. When that relationship ends, it ends. That relationship stays there. You in a new relationship, y'all talk about something different. You shouldn't be talking about your past relationship with that past person, bringing their stuff. You shouldn't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it could be used for an example, and it was to kind of, he brought it up to hurt me, because for whatever reason, you know, maybe something that's going on with them, and he wanted her to feel good, whatever. So he brings that up and says it in a way to make me look bad, to build her up, to make her look good, But not forgave him for it. But that's an example of how, like, a lot of times your friend, instead of betrayal, you have to forgive someone for what they did, no matter how bad it hurt you and embarrassed you and humiliated you. You have to forgive that person. And it's very, very hard to do that. Sometimes people can betray that way. So you want to be able to trust someone. So it's hard for me. The point that was like, so now in my life right now, it's kind of hard for me to kind of be vulnerable and confide something to someone, confide in someone about something so traumatic for me, or just anything, because you're worried that will someone steal my idea, or will someone sit there and go tell somebody else when so you kind of hesitant and tell somebody what happened to you. Um, and so because so that's something I have to work on and stuff like that. So it makes me wonder, did I really truly forgive people who hurt me? If I still am a little hesitant and trusting and forgiving that person. If I have trust issues now, when it's hard for me to be vulnerable and confess things. But time heals everything, heals all. So I just want to say, spread the word of forgiveness. I love you all. God bless. Stay tuned for more videos. You guys have a wonderful, blessed Sunday. Have a blessed week. And see you guys later.